Are you ready?
4,
3, 2, 1. Time's up.
Let's go.
0 to 1, which is written by Peter Theil with Black Master. 0 to 1 is an inside look at Peter Thiel's philosophy and strategy for making your startup a successful by looking at the lessons he learned from founding and selling PayPal, investing in Facebook, and becomes a billionaire in the process. There are books that give you great strategies for selling, marketing, and planning your business. And then there are books that tell you to forget about all of that so you can take an approach that's so radically different that you won't ever play in the same league as the reader of those other books. This is one of those books. Peter Thiel is an anomaly, to say the least. A chess master under age 21, a doctorate in law by age 25, and a company sale for $1.5 billion at age 35. 0 to 1 will teach you the way he thinks, how he approaches business, and what you can do to build your startup's own future and shape the future of the world in the progress. Here are 3 lessons from the book. Lesson number 1: the biggest leaps in progress are vertical, not horizontal. Lesson number 2: monopolies are good for both businesses and society. Lesson number 3: founders need a vision to take their business from 0 to 1. Let's see how the future is made. Lesson number 1: the biggest leaps in progress are vertical, not horizontal. Can you imagine what the year 2200 will look like? It's hard, isn't it? That's because the world is making tremendous progress every year, but it's almost impossible to know what that will look like. But not all progress is created equal. Most of the progress we see on a day-to-day basis is horizontal. This kind of progress spreads existing ideas and technologies from one to many or one to n. An example would be Apple making the computer personal with Apple II. It finally became affordable for the masses to own one. Vertical progress is what it takes to go from 0 to 1 and create the technologies or idea in the first place. Apple did this too when they came up with the iPhone in 2007 and changed the way we see and use iPhone altogether. If you want to create a startup that's not only improve but drastically change the world, you have to go from 0 to 1, not 1 to many. You can only do that by critically questioning a lot of the assumptions you hold about the present. Can you live on the moon? Is a world without cars possible? Will we able to fully live off renewable energies? These are the kind of questions you should concern yourself with if you want to play win and big. Lesson number 2: monopolies aren't bad, they are good for business and society. How often have you complained about something not working the way you want it on a Windows computer? Don't tell me. I have been a Microsoft user. I know with 75% of the market running on Windows, they are pretty much a monopoly. But is that really a bad thing? No, Peter Thiel says that monopoly simply means one company is doing something so much better than everyone else that simply no one else can survive. This is actually good for everyone. Think about Google. You love to use Google because it's this best search engine out there. Google loves setting its own prices and reaping 25% of their revenue as profit, so it can make its service even better. And society should love it because if ever someone came along and did beat Google, it would mean their search engine would be probably have to be pretty spanking fantastic. Monopolies are nothing to scoff at. They are actually what any business or startup should shoot for. Lesson number 3: if the founders don't have a vision, a company can never go from 0 to 1. But building a monopoly surely doesn't happen overnight. Thiel and 50% PayPal team spent years getting to a place where it was the #1 payment processor used by eBay customers, so they could finally leverage their monopoly position into selling the company. Where did they find the motivation to stick with it? One word, only one word: vision. Only vision. When you look at founders of the successful companies, you will find 90% of them are in a way. Where does Steve Jobs is one, only the most prominent example, but actually plenty of entrepreneurs have a few quirks, and that's good. Being a little bear is what lets leaders develop a grand, if slightly delusional vision for the future, which is exactly what companies need to go from 0 to 1. Way back in 1999, Thiel said PayPal will give citizens worldwide more direct control over currencies than they ever had before. A mouthful, sure, but he was right. His vision of the future showed an entirely different reality than the one he lived in. And the drive is instilled in himself and his team is exactly what led them to creating the very future they imagined. So thinking big, as they say, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss it, you will be among the stars. 0 to 1 review. I always wonder what the best approach to success is. Do you start small, build something, then make it a little bigger next time, and iterate year and after year until you have something big? Or do you go straight for the top? It seems like if you develop the mindset for the latter, you will end up playing in an entirely differently right from the start. A radical and eye-opening book lets summary hook you, and the book then convince you. Should you have even the slightest entrepreneurial inclination, then it's time to learn how to go from 0 to 1. Thank you so much.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel and also press this bell icon so you can get latest video notifications. And this is absolutely free.